There is. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
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 It's April 21st, 2024. Hare Krishna. Last Sunday, and sometimes on Sundays, we do something different than our systematic Bhagavatam reading. Last Sunday, we read from the Anshulila of Chaitanya Charitamrita about the pastimes of Gopinath Patanayaka. Yesterday, well, in our Chaitanya Charitamrita study group, we're currently on chapter 6 of Chaitanya Charitamrita Anshulila. It's about Lord Chaitanya's pastimes with Raghunath Das Goswami. So I was reading through that. The chapter is like 350 verses, very few purports from Srila Prabhupada. So perhaps we'll read something from that, but more I got in the mood of let's focus on, because Raghunath Das Goswami, let's focus on the 6 Goswamis, the 6 Goswamis of Vrindavan, and talk about their pastimes and teachings and glories. Okay, so I have with me the songbook open to Sri Sri Sad-gosvamy-astaka by Srinivasacharya. In this version, it's page 19. In this version, page 19, it's Srila Prabhupada references this a lot, the Goswamy-astaka. Yeah, perhaps we'll read from chapter 6 of Chaitanya Charitamrita Anshulila, titled The Meeting of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Raghunath Das Goswami. There's fascinating, adventurous pastimes there. But I thought to focus on the 6 Goswamis. Prabhupada would give lectures on the Goswamis. Actually, in the chapter of Chaitanya Charitamrita that we recently completed last Sunday, Anasuya Prabhu led that, how Pradyumna Mishra received instructions from Ramananda Roy. And in our next Chaitanya Charitamrita study group, Bharat Prabhu will lead the chapter on Raghunath Das Goswami. Jai Jai Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda.
Jai Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Sri Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda.
Jai Jai Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda.
Jai Jai Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda.
Jai Jai Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda.
Jai Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda.
Om Gyanatimirandasya Gananjana Shalakaya Chakshur Unmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah. Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Svayamupakadamayam Dadati Svapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Tapadakamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raganatan Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Saitan Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Badan Sagana Lalita Shri Vishakan Vitams Cha Hey Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagat Pate Gopisha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurange Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpatu Yubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Bhyeva Cha Patitanan Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah. Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadara Sri Vasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Sarasvati Deve Gavani Pacharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Desha Tarine. Now some invocation verses from Chaitanya Charitamrita. Bande Shri Krishna Chaitanya Nityananda Sahodidal Gododai Pushpabantal Chitral Sundal Tamonodal. I offer my respectful obeisances unto Lord Chaitanya and Lord Nityananda, who are just like the sun and the moon. They have arisen simultaneously on the horizon of Gauda to dissipate the darkness of ignorance in this age of Kali and to wonderfully bestow benediction upon all. Panchatattvatmakam Krishnam Bhakta Rupa Svarupakam Bhaktavataram Bhaktakyam Namami Bhakta Shaktikam Jayatam Suratal Pangur Mamamanda Materagati Matsarvasva Paramboja Radha Madhanam Mohanam. Glory to the all-merciful Radha and Madhan Mohan. I am lame and ill-advised, yet they are my directors, and their lotus feet are everything to me. Sri Sri Radha Madan Mohan Ki Jai, Divyad Vrindavanya, Kalpajumara, Srimad Ratnagar Singha Stal, Srimad Radha Srila Govinda Deva, Prestali B. Sevyamani Smarami, in a temple of jewels, in a forest of Vrindavan, beneath the desired tree, Sri Sri Radha and Govinda, served by their most confidential associates, sit upon an effulgent throne. I offer them my respectful obeisances. Shriman Rasa Rasarambi Vamsivata Tatastita Karshan Venu Staner Gopir Gopinata Shri Stuna. Sri Srila Gopinath, who is the inaugurator of the transcendental mellow of the Rasa dance, stands upon the shore at Vamsivat and attracts all of the cowherd damsels of Raja with the sound of his celebrated flute. May they all confer upon us their benediction. Hare Krishna. So I thought, let's go through the Sri Sri Sad-gosvamy-astaka by Srinivasacharya. Srila Prabhupada, he references the stanzas of this song and the meaning profusely referring to the six Goswamis. So the first of the 8 stanzas. I'm not aware of any special day today. Yesterday, I was reading chapter 6 of Anchilila about Raghunath Das Goswami. So I was inspired, let's absorb ourselves in the Goswamis today, the 6 Goswamis of Vrindavan. And on Sundays, we do sometimes do something different than the systematic Bhagavatam reading. Although in one sense, the difference is because it's one thing like if we're in a temple where there's morning program every day, and here we have morning programs. I do some morning program every day, but as far as an announced morning program, it seems 2 to 4 days per week. So this first stanza, Krishna Kirtana Gana Nartana Para Pitambo Nidhi Dhira Dhira Jana Priya Priya Kara Nirmatsara Ujita Shri Chaitanya Kripa Param Uparavahantaraka Bande Rupasana Tana Rahuyuga Shri Jiva Gopalaka Bande Rupasana Tana Rahuyuga Shri Jiva Gopalaka. I offer my respectful obeisances unto the 6 Goswamis, namely Sri Rupa Goswami, Sri Sanatan Goswami, Sri Raghunath Bhatt Goswami, Sri Raghunath Das Goswami, Sri Jiva Goswami, and Sri Gopal Bhatt Goswami, who are always engaged in chanting the holy name of Krishna and dancing. They are just like the ocean of love of God, and they are popular both with the gentle and with the ruffians, because they are not envious of anyone. Whatever they do, they are all pleasing to everyone, and they are fully blessed by Lord Chaitanya. Thus, they are engaged in missionary activities meant to deliver all the conditioned souls in the material universe. Okay, so in that stanza, so the six Goswamis, so these 8 stanzas, like kind of glorify and bring us into different pastimes of the Goswamis. So they're always chanting and dancing. So they're always chanting and dancing. They're just like the ocean of love of God, and they are popular both with the gentle and with the ruffian, because they are not envious of anyone. So that's Dhira, Dhira. Dhira is like a sober, self-realized person. And the Adhira is the ruffians. There's some just materialists like that. So the Goswamis were such gentle souls, fully realized, no envy, not trying to exploit in any subtle or gross way. They were very, very popular with everyone. Sometimes Prabhupada would say that the Goswamis, of course, always chanting and dancing and speaking Bhagavatam and about Lord Chaitanya and bhakti philosophy. Prabhupada would say that the townsfolk would come to the Goswamis for counseling. And Prabhupada would emphasize, not just like, oh, counseling about my spiritual life, or a loved one is about to die in the time of death, like also that, but Prabhupada would say, like if they had marital issues or just financial stuff going on, the Goswamis they were all just like really expert and worldly in many ways. And we'll get to that as we way, and as we go on. But they would come to him for all issues, and they would get counseling from Sanatana Goswami and Rupa Goswami. Prabhupada describes that. Now, just like so this principle that the Goswamis, they had no envy for anyone, so they were just loved by everyone. So there's that principle. Now there's also the principle, okay, because we talk about the 6 Goswamis, and also like Jesus was a Goswami and Prabhupada is a Goswami in the true sense. And so there's also the principle that if someone is sharing God consciousness, self-realization purely, we can expect also there will be a polarizing effect, because we can see Goswamis like Bhakti Siddhanta, Bhakti Vinod Thakur, Srila Prabhupada, Jesus, Lord Chaitanya. They did get opposition for those who are invested for those who feel threatened by the propagation of true spiritual consciousness. So there's also that principle. All right, so I'll read that one more time. I offer my respectful obeisances unto the 6 Goswamis, namely Sri Rupa Goswami, Sri Sanatan Goswami, Sri Raghunath Bhatt Goswami, Sri Raghunath Das Goswami, Sri Jiva Goswami, and Sri Gopal Bhatt Goswami, who are always engaged in chanting the holy name of Krishna and dancing. They are just like the ocean of love of God, and they are popular both with the gentle and with the ruffians, because they are not envious of anyone. Whatever they do, they are all pleasing to everyone, and they are fully blessed by Lord Chaitanya. Thus, they are engaged in missionary activities meant to deliver all the conditioned souls in the material universe. So just the last line there, the missionary activities. We talk about the Sankirtan movement. Srila Prabhupada's movement means like it's moving through the enthusiastic sharing of those who are participating in the movement. So even though the Goswamis, they were completely qualified to sit in a cave and chant 200 rounds per day. And for some, like Haridas Thakur, that's their service. with the Goswamis, yeah, well, they were chanting and dancing, and they were writing, and they were sharing, they were counseling, and so they were very, very active, very much participating to share this sublime transcendental knowledge and process.
Can I ask a question?
Yes.
What do you, I'm just curious more about like what that looked like. 'Cause it sounds like my kind of impression is that, you know, the Goswamis are in the forest,
Yeah,
like kind of like sannyasi like style.
yes,
And then and then it's kind of like the villagers coming to see them at the edge of kind of the edge of the village of the forest, like kind of that fringe area, like the villagers come and like see the priest or come see the
yeah.
you know, the Goswami at the edge of the village, and that's kind of what I have in mind. But were they also like traveling to different places and like public preaching? Also, I'm also like watching that, you know, Chosen. So like Jesus, like
Yeah.
Jesus going around. So sometimes he'd just be like preaching in the whatever woods or something. But sometimes he'd go into the village and like
Yeah,
just stand up on the pet. What do they call it? The pulpit, or stand up on the
right. And the
soapbox.
the Sermon on the Mount, on the
Or Sermon on
podium.
the Mount would be like, yeah, maybe in the mountains where they
Yeah.
never see them, but sometimes they go into the
And
village
on
and
the
just
street
on
corner.
the street corner
Yeah.
and like be preaching. And so I'm just wondering about, you know, were they like stand kirtan through the streets like Lord Chaitanya, like public preaching in the middle of the village, or is it more like they're kind of in this secluded place and then, you know, the villagers come to them? I'm just curious if you have any.
I appreciate the question about the six Goswamis. Yeah, we talked about how Srila Prabhupada would say they would actually counsel the townsfolk in Vrindavan and Mathura, even on ordinary type issues like marriage and finances. So I'm not sure what it looks like other than what we hear from Srila Prabhupada in his books and lectures and letters. So for sure, I could imagine they're in their hermitage, their cave, and the townsfolk visit them. At the same time, I don't have a sense that like they never went into, like, for sure they went into Vrindavan to the temples. Of course, the main temples of Vrindavan, the Goswamis established what are now the main temples. But I imagine it's not like they stayed away from the town. We know that they had dealings with like wealthy people, because wealthy people would want to be their followers, and they would guide them to build temples. So that requires money. Where are you going to get the cement and things like that? Not that they got so much involved with management, but so my sense is, yeah, they were in the forest beneath like a different tree every not more than 3 nights under the same tree. So traveling. But at the same time, my sense wasn't like they didn't stay away from the town. Of course, the town of Vrindavan then was different than today, because Srila Prabhupada, he made Vrindavan famous, and now it has a different feel to it. But my sense is probably both. Townsfolk came to found them in their hermitages beneath the tree, and also they would be in town. That's my understanding.
They stayed in the region of Vrindavan.
Yeah.
They stayed there.
They stayed in the region of Vrindavan at a certain point in their lives. That was their instruction for each of them from Lord Chaitanya. And that's, yeah, like with, and they, like, well, at least many of them had significant time with Lord Chaitanya, like in Jagannath Puri, and then in the Anshulila, there's pastimes of Lord Chaitanya with Sanatan Goswami. Yeah, we can close the windows. We have new windows here at the ashram, coordinated by Bhaktidevan Prabhu. Hare Krishna. Okay, yeah, so you're all excited. New windows. We can just do like a quick tour, right? So yeah, so like at the beginning of Anshulila Chaitanya Charitamrita, there's Lord Chaitanya's pastimes with Rupa Goswami and with Sanatan Goswami in Jagannath Puri. and then he instructs them, go to Vrindavan. Chapter 6, Raghunath Das Goswami, like that. Now the next stanza, Sri Sad-gosvamy-astaka, this might be the stanza Prabhupada quotes more than any other. He includes this kind of like in his dedication to the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, the nectar of devotion. He includes this kind of like as the foundational text leading to Prabhupada's summary study of the nectar of devotion. And this next verse focuses on the six Goswamis' activities of revealing transcendental literature. Nana Shastra Vicharane Kanipuna Sadharma Samstapaka Lokanam Hitakari now Tribhuvane Manyal Saranyakaram Radha Krishna Padaravinda Bhajana and Dalika Pande Rupasanatana Ragu Yoga Sri Jiva Gopalako Pande Rupasanatana Ragu Yoga Sri Jiva Gopalako. Prabhupada, would you like to read that?
Okay. I offer my respectful obeisances unto the six Goswamis, namely Sri Rupa Goswami, Sri Sanatana Goswami, Sri Raghunath Bhatt Goswami, Sri Raghunath Das Goswami, Sri Jiva Goswami, and Sri Gopal Bhatt Goswami, who are very expert in scrutinizingly studying all the revealed scriptures with the aim of establishing eternal religious principles for the benefit of all human beings. Thus, they are honored all over the three worlds, and they are worth taking shelter of because they are absorbed in the mood of the gopis and are engaged in the transcendental loving service of Radha and Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So that focuses, we could say, on the literary, the philosophical productions, pastimes of the Goswamis. Prabhupada puts it right before his nectar of devotion. As far as the Goswamis produced massive amounts of transcendental literature, Prabhupada specifically gave us English translations of the nectar of devotion and the nectar of instruction. Nectar of instruction, the Sanskrit is Srila by Srila Rupa Goswami. And and so we can see Srila Prabhupada fully and perfectly following in the footsteps of the Goswamis, that very expert in scrutinizingly studying all the revealed scriptures with the aim of establishing eternal religious principles for the benefit of all human beings. So like going through all the spiritual literatures and getting what's the essence here? What's the essence? What do we really need to know? And what's going to really help us? And what's kind of like a sideshow, like karma yoga, jnana yoga, going for the impersonal Brahma Jyoti. We can think of like, yes, and other things, they're all there to supplement, but to give us the pure bhakti. I was just reading in a book that Anandini gifted me called The Mountain of Silence. And it's about the Eastern Orthodox, Greek Orthodox Christianity. And so the father Maximus, he's speaking to the writer of the book, who's actually, even his father, he's in his 30s. He's not actually like in his 90s or something, as you might think. But anyhow, he describes that Jesus didn't come here to make people be good people. So I like that. I'm going to like take a note on that. It wasn't here so that people will be good. And we talk about this a lot. Now, of course, like Jesus came for, he used the word for Christification, meaning so that people are just completely 100% devoted to God. Now, of course, the Dharma, the goodness, yes, that's the best platform to take to transcendental bhakti, God consciousness. So this is a principle of the Goswamis, and just we find it in other genuine traditions there, like Eastern Orthodoxy. And he said, yeah, but Jesus' ultimate goal wasn't that someone will become a good family person. No, that's very nice. That's not to be minimized. But the ultimate goal was that fully giving themselves to Christ, to God. So similarly, the Goswamis and Srila Prabhupada. Of course, so we, just like the Goswamis are extracting the essence of all spiritual literatures, the Vedas, of course, any genuine spiritual literature, that is Veda. There's a quote I quote a lot. 1960s, I think, was Montreal. And a woman was there, and after Prabhupada spoke, she asked something like, Prabhupada was speaking about Bhagavatam. She asked something like, well, what about Joan? What about Joan of Arc? Like maybe she had some conception that Prabhupada had some material sectarian conception. So Prabhupada immediately responded, Joan of Arc, she is Bhagavatam, like she is Bhagavatam. It was like, obviously, like that. So there's nothing, no material conception. So it's like what Srila Jiva Goswami does at the beginning of his Sandarbhas, which Prabhupada quotes profusely. He starts by, how to get knowledge. So he's looking, and the senses are imperfect, looks at different epistemologies, and then he comes to the Vedas. And goes, okay, but the Vedas are meant for this purpose and that purpose, and to be good here, and Varnashram, and worship Kali for your finances go better, and this is then they all have their purpose. They all have their purpose, but even many of the Vedas, they're meant they're meant for people in tamas and rajas. So then Vyasadeva, he gave the cream of the cream, Sarva Veda Dhyasanam Saram Samudrita. He gave the cream, he gave the essence of the Vedas in the Srimad Bhagavatam, and that's the spotless Purana, and that's perfectly bona fide. Where even Jiva Goswami's time, the original Vedas, Rig Veda, Atharva Upanishad, like only a small percentage of that had come down in its authentic form. So so Jiva Goswami said, so it's the Bhagavatam is the most perfect source of knowledge. So Srila Prabhupada, he gives us from all that the Goswamis gave. He gives us the essence of what's relevant, what's relevant for us. So this literary contribution of the Goswamis and Srila Prabhupada, following in their footsteps, and his most sublime contribution, his literary contribution. So that second verse of the Sad-gosvamy-astaka.
Just another quick question. Did Rupa or Jiva Goswami give commentaries on Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, things like that?
Yeah. Yes, they did. They did.
Like they would get this like Bengali, like sure Prabhupada could read Bengali, so he would do that, would they?
Mostly they gave it in Sanskrit.
Oh, okay.
Now, for example, okay, so I mentioned the Sandarbhas. Sandarbha means tapestry, just like you're all familiar. Here we have a tapestry of Krishna, right? Tapestry. So tapestry means different different threads, different cloths woven together. So darb is like thread, and san is all woven together. So probably there's 6 sandarbhas: Tattva Sandarbha, Bhagavat Sandarbha, Paramatma Sandarbha, Krishna Sandarbha, Bhakti Sandarbha, and the Priti Sandarbha. 6 Sandarbhas. And then there's a 7th Sandarbha called the Krama Sandarbha. Krama means step by step. So the Jiva Goswami Sandarbhas, Prabhupada will often say, Jiva Goswami is the greatest philosopher who ever lived. Okay. And his main work is the Sandarbhas. He has so many books. He has Gopal Champu, Krishna the Champion, like that, Champu. So the Sandarbhas, it's all commentary on the Bhagavatam. That's what it is. And it's in Sanskrit. It's in Sanskrit. And so you'll see Prabhupada quotes this. So the answer to your question is a big yes. And in the Sandarbhas also, Jiva Goswami is quoting Bhagavad Gita and all the Vaishnava literature. So like the tattva means truth. So he's quoting from the Sandarbha. He's giving the Bhagavatam in different places that establishes the Bhagavatam. The Bhagavat Sandarbha. It's about the Bhagavatam. And he quotes from all around the Bhagavatam to establish Bhagavan. Bhagavan is the ultimate goal, is the most complete realization of the absolute truth. Paramatma Sandarbha. It's commentary in all 12 cantos of the Bhagavatam, establishing the nature and the function of super soul within the heart. Bhakti Sandarbha. It's all commentary on the Bhagavatam. Then you could say the 7th Sandarbha is Krama Sandarbha. That's Jiva Goswami's, like he goes from the 1st canto through the 12th canto, just like Prabhupada's 30 volumes. The Krama Sandarbha is just sequentially. So the answer is a big yes. Let's look at stanza 3 of Sri Sad-gosvamy-astaka. Okay, stanza 3. Shri Gauranga Gunanuvarna Davida Shraddha Samridyadida Pabota Panikrintanal Tanubitam Govinda Ganamita Anandam Bodhivardhanikanipuna Kaivalya Nistarako Vande Rupasanatana Raghuyuga Sri Jiva Gopalaka Vande Rupasanatana Raghuyuga Shri Jiva Gopalaka. Would someone online like to read the translation of the 3rd stanza, Sad-gosvamy-astaka? Okay. I'll read. From my respectful obeisances unto the 6 Goswamis, namely Syrupy Goswami, Sri Sanatan Goswami, Sri Raghunath Bhatt Goswami, Raghunath Das Goswami, Srila Jiva Goswami, and Sri Gopal Bhatt Goswami, who are very much enriched in understanding of Lord Chaitanya and who are thus expert in narrating his transcendental qualities. They can purify all conditioned souls from the reactions of their sinful activities by pouring upon them transcendental songs about Govinda. As such, they are very expert in increasing the limits of the ocean of transcendental bliss, and they are the saviors of the living entities from the devouring mouth of liberation. Such incredible poetry there. Okay. Papo tapa ne krintanal tanubridam Govinda ganam ritai. Okay, they can purify all conditioned souls from the reactions of their sinful activities by pouring upon them transcendental songs about Govinda. That's like something to meditate on and on, deeper and deeper. Anandam Buddhi Vardanaika Nipunel Kevalya Nistarakal. As such, they are very expert in increasing the limits of the ocean of transcendental bliss, and they are the saviors of the living entities from the devouring mouth of liberation. So it's striking because for most spiritualists, those aspiring spirits, liberation is the goal. Devouring mouth, yeah, very interesting expression, right? Because the liberations, that's like the most beautiful thing. That's the most heavenly, to liberate from the material desire. And it is a wonderful spiritual achievement to actually move towards liberation from spiritual, from liberation from material desires and material miseries. But here's it's like this monster devouring mouth of liberation. Because for the devotee to lose their identity by merging into the undifferentiated oneness, or even merging into Krishna's body and lose their identity, then for the devotee, that's hellish. It's a lot worse than material hell, because the devotee just wants to serve Krishna. And so, of course, we know, everyone here is familiar, the liberation, the oneness, that can be a step towards pure bhakti. And there are some great bhaktas who went that path. Shukadev Goswami, he was Atmarama, liberated. From there he came to bhakti. The Nava Yogendras described in the 5th canto and the 11th canto, and the 4 Kumaras. But often, just like we read in the first verse, the 6 Goswamis, completely free from envy. Therefore, they're very dear to everyone. No envy in the heart. So it's so attractive. So oftentimes there's some envy in the heart of those who are going after liberation. So because of that envy, they don't come to soft-hearted, childlike devotion to Krishna. And so that's hellish. That's why it's described. Lord Shiva describes to Mother Parvati, Narayana prasarve nakt kashtana bibyati svaganapar svaganavar svaga pavarga narakeshvapi tuyarta darshini. So yeah, the devotees like Maharaj Chitraketu, they can be in heaven, hell, spiritual planets, material planets, as long as they get to serve, they're happy and enthusiastic. Just like Lord Chaitanya, Nadanam Najanam Nasudrim Kavitam Bhajagadishakame Mama Janmani Shri Bhavata Bhaktir Hetu Kitvai. He says, yeah, I don't want women, wealth, or followers. All I want is your service, Krishna, birth after birth. No interest in liberation. Liberations like this devouring mouth. So Srinivasacharya bringing us into the mood of the Goswamis, which again, Srila Prabhupada, he's fully embodying the mood of the Goswamis and sharing with us. Okay, let's look at stanza 4 of the Sad-gosvamy-astaka. Tyatva namashesha mandalapati Shrenim sadatu chava Udvadina Ganesha Kavunaya Kopina Kanta Shrita Gopi Bhava Rasamritam Dilahari Kalona Namo Bande Rupa Sanatana Raghuyoga Sri Jiva Gopalaka Bande Rupa Sanatana Raghuyoga Sri Jiva Gopalaka. Is anyone online set up to read the translation of stanza 4?
Yes, I am now.
Anandini, thank you.
I offer my respectful obeisances unto the 6 Goswamis, namely Syrupy Goswami, Sri Sanatan Goswami, Sri Raghunath Bhatt Goswami, Sri Raghunath Das Goswami, Sri Jiva Goswami, and Sri Gopal Bhatt Goswami. who kicked off all association of aristocracy as insignificant. In order to deliver the poor conditioned souls, they accepted loincloths, treated themselves as mendicants, but they are always merged in the ecstatic ocean of the gopis' love for Krishna and bathe always and repeatedly in the waves of that ocean.
Thank you, Anandini. Hare Krishna. Prabhupada references this stanza a lot, the Sanskrit and in the English. So yeah, so it says they kicked off all association of aristocracy as insignificant. In order to deliver the poor conditioned souls, they accepted loincloths, no fancy clothes, loincloths like Adam and Eve, treating themselves as mendicants, but they're always merged in the ecstatic ocean of the gopis' love for Krishna and bathe always and repeatedly in the waves in that ocean. Such beautiful poetic expression. So this is significant because we talk about renunciation, sacrifice, and to do whatever bhakti yoga we're doing some renunciation, sacrifice. There's many things we could be doing on a Sunday morning or afternoon, but here we are giving our attention to the 6 Goswamis, and we chant japa, and so that's the yagi of the day. So while doing different austerities, regular principles, rising early like that. At the same time, in one sense, like one's austerity, one way to look at it is like, so like how much does one have to give up? So the Goswamis, they all had a lot to give up. Okay, so it's one thing like if one has no prestige in society and really no money and no nice house anyway. No, it's to do whatever austerity and give themselves to chanting and reading Bhagavad Gita. That's wonderful. But the Goswamis, like Sanatan Goswami, he was like the prime minister, so just had all this fame, and they were super intelligent. They had prestige. It's described about Sanatan Goswami, Rupa Goswami, Raghunath Das Goswami, that like they had, in today's money, it'd be like hundreds of billions of dollars. I mean, just fantastically rich and wealthy and intelligent. And so, and then they, and of course, it's one principle, Yukta Vairagya, everything can be used in Krishna's service still. They just gave it all up, wore loincloths. So we can especially appreciate they had a lot to give up. As far as material popularity and adoration and distinction and wealth and money and compliments and power, they had a lot to give up and just like nothing. They did. So this is just another special quality of these 6 Goswamis of Vrindavan, and they could give it up because they were completely joyful and ecstatic, ananda, in the ecstatic ocean. They always merge in the ocean of the gopis' love for Krishna, and they bathe always and repeatedly in the waves of that ocean. Yes, and all of that out of compassion to deliver the poor. Poor doesn't mean those who don't have a lot of money in the bank account. Everyone in material consciousness is poor because they're not bathing in that ocean of the ecstatic love of the gopis for Krishna. So Srila Srinidas Acharya and Srila Prabhupada are bringing us into the consciousness, the compassionate consciousness of the 6 Goswamis of Vrindavan. Yeah, Prabhupada, yeah, they all, if we read their, I'm just yesterday, I immersed myself in chapter 6 of Ancha Lila. That's where we are in a Chaitanya Charitamrita study group. So Raghunath Das Goswami, yeah, it's described like his father and uncle would be like multi-billionaires of today. And similarly to Gopinath Pattanayaka, who we read about last week, they did some collecting for the government, and they would like, okay, some for the government, some for my back pocket. They had some things going on like that. So they got into trouble, but they kind of ran out, like his Raghunath Das Goswami's uncle ran out of town. So the Muslim officers got Raghunath Das Goswami, and it's described that they're like, they were going to beat him because of the crimes of his uncle. But they were going to beat him and just torture him. But then whenever they would just look at him, and they could just tell he had such purity that I can't beat you. Like he had such purity. And then he was very clever, and Raghunath Das Goswami. So part of his pastime, very, very wealthy family, as we talk, he would again and again, I can relate to his pastime. Basically, he would again and try to escape. Sometimes he'd escape and go to Lord Chaitanya, but his parents would keep capturing him. They would kidnap him to deprogram him. And he had like a beautiful wife, and he had beautiful everything and opulent. And at one point, like his mother said, well, we need to tie him up. And then the father said, well, what can we do? Like, we can try to tie him up with ropes, but his heart is in Lord Chaitanya. And then ultimately, he escaped to Jagannath Puri, went to Lord Chaitanya. But, and then his parents were really upset, because generally parents aren't like too happy when their children are like, I'm just going to live a renounced ascetic life of renunciation. The parents want like material comforts for their children, naturally. And his eating habits were beyond austere. It's described like that. But then his father like sent him servants and like big money like every month. So Raghunath Das Goswami would use it for prasadam, feasting, to prepare feast. And so so Prabhupada just really emphasizes that they came from educated aristocracy, rich, powerful backgrounds, so that they had a lot to give up, and they could do so effectively because they were immersed in that higher taste. Okay, let's go to stanza 5 and hear Sri Sad-gosvamy-astaka stanza 5. Ujat ko kila hamsa sara sagana kine mayura kule nanara nibhagda mula ditapa Shri Yukta Vrindavane Radha Krishna Ravinda Bhajan Radha Krishna Maharnisham Prabhajatao Jivartadao Yao Buddha Vande Upasanatana Rago Yoga Shri Jiva Gopalakam Vande Upasanatana Rago Yoga Shri Jiva Gopalakam. Would anyone else online like to read the translation of stanza 5? Brahmapara, would you like to read?
Yes. I offer my respectful obeisances unto the 6 Goswamis, namely Sri Rupa Goswami, Sri Sanatana Goswami, Sri Raghunath Goswami, Sri Raghunath Das Goswami, Sri Jiva Goswami, and Sri Gopala Bhatt Goswami, who were always engaged in worshipping Radha and Krishna in the transcendental land of Vrindavan, where there are beautiful trees full of fruits and flowers, which have under their roots all valuable jewels. The Goswamis are perfectly competent to bestow upon the living entities the greatest boon of the goal of life.
Hare Krishna. Beautiful descriptions, and transcendental, beyond any material conception. Always engaged in worshipping Radha and Krishna in the transcendental land of Vrindavan, where there are beautiful trees full of fruits and flowers, which have under their roots all valuable jewels. So these are realities not accessible to material senses. The Goswamis are perfectly competent to bestow upon the living entities the greatest boon of the goal of life. Radha Krishna Maharnisham Prabhajatal Jivartadao Yao Muda. Jiva, to the living entities, Artadao, the greatest economic development, the greatest boon of loving service to Radha Krishna. So Prabhupada emphasizes that we do bhakti in the line of the Goswamis, and as is later described in this Sad-gosvamy-astaka, the Goswamis, they were not about, it wasn't about, oh, I'm seeing Krishna in the bush in Vrindavan. The Goswamis were always in the mood of separation, So we practice bhakti strictly in the line of the Goswamis, in the line of Bhaktivinoda Thakur, Bhaktisiddhanta, and Srila Prabhupada. Let's go to stanza 6. This one also Prabhupada references a lot, very relevant for our devotional practice. Sankhya purvaka gana natibi kala vasani krita nidra raviharakari jivito chatyam padina chaya Radha Krishna Gunasmite Madhuriman Andena Samohita Bande Upasanatana Raghu Yoga Sri Jiva Gopalako Bande Upasanatana Raghu Yoga Sri Jiva Gopalako. Did you go, Paul?
Yeah, so I will read the translation.
Thank you.
So, I offer my respectful obeisances unto the 6 Goswamis, namely Sri Rupa Goswami, Sri Sanatan Goswami, Sri Raghunath Bhatt Goswami, Sri Raghunath Das Goswami, Sri Jiva Goswami, and Sri Gopal Bhatta Goswami, who are engaged in chanting the holy names of the Lord and bowing down in a scheduled measurement. In this way, they utilize their valuable lives, and in executing these devotional activities, they conquered over eating and sleeping, and were always meek and humble, and chanted by remembering the transcendental qualities of the Lord.
Thank you, Nityagopal Prabhu. Yeah, so there's a lot there. Sankhya, the first word of that stanza, Sankhya means to count, like Sankhya philosophy. Lord Kapila taught spiritual Sankhya philosophy to his mother, Devahuti, and he counting all the material elements and the spiritual, 24 material elements, and there's the soul and the super soul, so to count. So this whole idea of like, well, in Safatov coaching, we have like SMART goals. So that comes from the 6 Goswamis, right? Because of course they're on a platform there. They don't need to commit to a minimum number of rounds or mantras. At the same time, they're setting that example. I'm going to bow down and offer obeisances to Vaishnavas and to deities a minimum number of times per day. I'm going to chant a minimum number of mantra of Hare Krishna Maha mantra. And so they did things in a very rigorous quantitative way through rigorous adherence to quantitative commitment. Quality deepens. And so Srila Prabhupada giving us like, okay, rising 4:30 a.m. and minimum 16 rounds for those who really want to advance out of the material ocean to Krishna and Krishna consciousness. And within the next few months, I'll learn at least this many shlokas. That's so much, all of that quantitative. Of course, not meant to be quantitative in a way where we become alienated from the heart and the essence. At the same time, quantity done with sincerity leads to quality. So that's all in the line of the Goswamis. And I'll chant or bow down when I feel. All in the line of the Goswamis, quantitative measurement, and then through that, and this is something to aspire for, through their rigorous practice of devotional service and sadhana, the then they conquered over eating and sleeping and were always meek and humble, enchanted by remembering the transcendental qualities of the Lord. So, yeah, right. So definitely a work in progress for me, conquering over eating and sleeping and becoming meek and humble. So definitely a work in progress there. And so, yeah, so Prabhupada would say about the Goswamis that they would, for such pure devotees, we don't even use the term sleep. Sleep indicates ignorance, but for pure devotees like the 6 Goswamis or Srila Prabhupada, we use the term rest. So the Goswamis would rest only 2 hours per night. And Prabhupada would say, and sometimes they forgot to do that. I forget many things, but I don't forget my sleeping and eating because it's very dear to me. It's very precious. So we don't forget something that's very dear and precious. But the Goswamis, their regular was 1.5, 2 hours per night, and maybe a few drops of buttermilk would be their food. We were just talking earlier about the austerity of Raghunath Das Goswami and eating. I won't go into it here, but probably sometimes they forgot to sleep there, to rest there 2 hours. Srila Prabhupada, sometimes when he would go to take rest, he would say, now I'm going to waste time. That's the way he viewed it. Of course, for a devotee, it's not a waste of time. They're completely absorbed in Krishna and getting super soul realization. A quality of a devotee, as Srila Sanatan Goswami writes, is a vyarta kalatvam. A devotee doesn't want to waste a moment outside of service to Prabhupada, outside of service to the 6 Goswamis. So naturally, through regulation, Krishna's phrase in 2nd chapter of Bhagavad Gita, text 64, regulative principles of freedom, then naturally we naturally eat and sleep and think about sex and defense less. Nitya Gopal.
Thank you, Prabhu, for the beautiful explanation about the activities of Shad Goswamis. I was just reflecting back on the word Sankhya Purvaka Nama Ganane Vidhi. And recently I was reading Madhu Pandit Prabhu's Soulful Japa modules, in which he mentions why it is important for us to count and chant. He mentioned that the soul has this Karya Chesta energy. The soul has the capability to do work. It is one of the soul's energy of multifarious energies of the soul. And he says, unless we involve and evoke all the energies of the soul during the chanting of the holy names, our absorption won't be 100%. So when we are chasing our numbers, our rounds, it is as good as Atma is involved. So that is a complete absorption. That's so the Goswamis are teaching this engineering of chanting, the spiritual engineering, how to completely absorb in that way. Just wanted to share this. Also, how they were drinking only couple of glass of buttermilk reminds me that it is not the food which really provide the energy to the body. It is pranic energy which provide the movement to the body. So
Yeah.
they were completely had the full pranic energy because of their complete absorption in spiritual activities. So they really didn't need the food just to maintain the body. They were just having it. And also regarding sleeping, that I heard many of Srila Prabhupada pastimes that it's like sleeping is like meditation for him. He just go internally and meditate on the Radha Krishna pastimes. And I heard many pastimes from Chaitanya Charitamrita, from Chaitanya Mangala, that how Shad Goswamis, whenever they used to rest, they will always used to go in meditation in Antaranga Lila of the Lord. So even that is like service to the Lord, even sleeping. Taking rest.
Thanks for that, Nitya Gopal. Thanks for all those points. Beautiful points, powerful points. Yeah. Yes. Yes. Yeah, even I know, like when I was like my teen years and young adult years, we would hear about the breatharians, like and so when we hear from that, they're actually, yeah, and it's there in the Bhagavatam. There are yogis who can live just on breath, and but according to nutritional science, you need this many calories and this and that. But there's like other levels of science like that, and so yeah, so it's not like the tamasic sleep of the conditioned souls for Srila Prabhupada or for the six Goswamis. And yeah, and the first point you made, you referenced to Madhu Pandit Prabhu. Yeah, because like we can try to be absorbed in something, but the soul's nature is to be absorbed in the work, the activity, the service of devotion, service to Radha Krishna. That's Nityasiddha Krishna Prema Sajika Bunoi, Shravanadi Shuddhachitte Karya Uday. Love of Krishna is eternally situated in the hearts of all living entities. And Prabhupada writes about this, right, in his Bhagavad Gita purport. So even if we try to be absorbed in something material, to some extent we can, but if it's not connected with that original service nature of the soul to Krishna, the mind's going to be disturbed. We're going to be disturbed. We're not going to be able to be completely absorbed, at least not in an enduring way. Of course, at our level, or at least my level, we can look at those who are highly accomplished in different material spheres and kind of like, wow, if my absorption in sadhana and serving Prabhupada was, let's say, the Olympic gold medalist or something in any sport, how much they need to focus in and be really, they're like yogis and like that. Well, if I just had like a fraction of as much absorption in my Krishna consciousness as they do to win the gold medal, I'd be doing pretty good. Sometimes Prabhupada references Joseph Stalin. Joseph Stalin, who's of course, one of the great demons of the 20th century. So we don't like glorify Joseph Stalin, but Prabhupada's it's described that he would be like going under like some surgical operation in his stomach, in his abdomen, and the doctors, I guess, 1950s or like so, medicine previous decades, but give some anesthesia, and he would say no. He wouldn't take the anesthesia. So he was so focused on his mission of killing tens of millions of people or whatever power. He was so focused that even like he wasn't disturbed by the pain. Didn't even take anesthesia. So again, like, well, how focused am I on bathing in the ocean of the love of Radha and Krishna? Hare Krishna. Thank you, Nitya Gopal. I think to close, because we're coming, it's past 9 o'clock Eastern. Let's recite the final two stanzas and read the English both set. Let's do both 7 and 8, so we complete Sad-gosvamy-astaka. So let's recite both. Radha Kunda Tate Kalindatanaya Tire Chavamsi Vate Premon Vada Vasada Shesha Dasaya Gwastau Pamatal Sada Gayantal Chakadahara Gudavaram Bhava Bibhuta Muda Vande Upasanatanara Raghuyugal Shri Jiva Gopalapa Vande Upasanatanara Raghuyugal Shri Jiva Gopalapa. Hey Radhe Vrajadevi Ke Telalite Hey Nanda Sunokuta Shri Govardhana Kopapada Patale Kalindi Vane Kuta Gosanta Viti Sarvato Padapure Kedema Vivala Vande Upasanatana Rago Yoga Shri Jiva Gopalaka Pande Ropasanatana Rago Yoga Sri Jiva Gopalaka. I offer my respectful obeisances unto the six Goswamis, namely Sri Rupa Goswami, Sri Sanatan Goswami, Sri Raghunath Bhatt Goswami, Sri Raghunath Das Goswami, Sri Jiva Goswami, and Sri Gopal Bhatt Goswami, who were sometimes on the bank of the Radhakund Lake or the shores of the Yamuna, and sometimes at Bamsivat. There they appeared just like madmen in the full ecstasy of love for Krishna, exhibiting different transcendental symptoms in their bodies, and they were merged in the ecstasy of Krishna consciousness. I offer my respectful obeisances unto the six Goswamis, namely Sri Rupa Goswami, Sri Sanatan Goswami, Sri Raghunath Bhatt Goswami, Sri Raghunath Das Goswami, Sri Jiva Goswami, and Sri Gopal Bhatt Goswami, who were chanting very loudly everywhere in Vrindavan, shouting, Queen of Vrindavan, Radharani, O Lalita, O son of Nanda Maharaj, where are you all now? Are you just on the hill of Govardhan? Or are you under the tree on the bank of the Yamuna? Where are you? These were their moods in executing Krishna consciousness. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada references those stanzas, especially the last one, Hey Radhe Rajan, that, oh, where are you now? So like he emphasizes the Goswami, it's the Vipralamba Seva, the mood of separation, not like the Sahajiya mood. Oh yes, I was with Krishna in the bushes and I saw Radha and Krishna. The Goswamis always feel, I'm very far away from Radha, from seeing Radha Krishna. And of course, the irony is that in that mood of separation, they're fully present with Radha and Krishna. Again, Srila Prabhupada in his poetry on the Jaladuta, as he approached Boston Harbor in one of the poems, in some of his offerings to Bhakti Siddhanta, he says things like, yes, I have no hope of direct service to Radha and Krishna for crores and crores of lifetimes, like Lord Chaitanya, Janmaneshwari. Of course, just let me serve the mission of my spiritual master, Bhakti Siddhanta. So that's the mood of the Goswamis. That's the mood Prabhupada's giving us, the service and separation. Chakudanti loye janme janme Prabhu say, we sing the Prabhupada, just let me serve you birth after birth. Like what hope do I have to be with Radha Krishna? Just let me serve you, Prabhupada, somehow, in whatever birth I take. And Prabhupada emphasizes Shruti Smriti Purnani Panchatra Vidim Vida Akantakiya Hirabhakti Utpataya Yava Kalpate. That devotional service not aligned in the mood of the Goswamis, in the teachings of the Goswamis, not connected there. It's just, it becomes a disturbance. And it becomes a disturbance if it's not genuinely aligned with the Parampara, the Shruti Smriti Purnadi. And for us, we get the Shruti Smriti and the Puranas and the Pancharatriki. We get that from the Goswamis, and we understand the Goswamis through our current link to the Parampara, Srila Prabhupada. Hare Krishna. Any sharing, comments, questions, inspirations, realizations at this time?
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Nandini.
Thank you for reading this together. I have a question about liberation.
Yeah.
So you said like liberation is a very high goal. So Sutta Goswami, he was liberated. And then he discovered Krishna and having a personal relationship with Krishna.
You're talking about Srila Shukadev Goswami?
Shukadev Goswami. Shukadev Goswami. I mix up Sutta Goswami and Shukadev. So the son of Yasadev is
Shukadev.
Shukadev Goswami.
Shukadev Goswami is
So
son of yeah, now there's also Sutta Goswami, who's the speaker of the Bhagavatam, who heard from Shukadev. So Sutta Goswami yeah, he's also, of course, devotionally liberated. Shukadeva Goswami is the one who's referenced that he was impersonally liberated, Atmaramas Tamunayo, and then he came to bhakti, really through hearing Bhagavatam.
So this doesn't mean he lost his liberation.
It
Or
doesn't.
could you?
It doesn't mean he
could you
lost his.
He lost his liberation.
No. It's very clear. The devotees, the devotees, they are liberated. They are liberated, and just like, but the impersonal liberation, it doesn't mean anything to them. So the devotional, the bhakti liberation, means like just completely absorbed in serving Krishna, so no material desire, liberated from material desire, liberated from material urges through bhakti, and that's like that. That includes the impersonal liberation. So the devotee doesn't lose that. The devotee has that included in their consciousness, appreciation, just like you're familiar with the verse Vedanti Tattva Das Tattvam Yajganaman Vayam Brahmeti Paramatmeti Bhagavaniti Shabhyate. Three aspects of realization of the absolute: impersonal liberation, super soul, and Bhagavan, Krishna consciousness. So the Bhagavan realization, Krishna consciousness, bhakti, that includes, that's why it's the most complete. Krishna's to Bhagavan Swam. It includes super soul realization, and the bhakti liberation includes realization of the oneness of all energies, of the oneness of all energies, the undifferentiated Brahmagyuti. Devotional liberation includes that. So Shukadeva Goswami didn't lose that realization. He just progressed onwards from it. And an analogy I heard once, which I like, has to do with like a Gulabjaman. Okay, so a Gulabjaman. All right, so let's say someone, okay, is offered a Gulabjaman, and it's, you know, perfectly prepared with the syrup and this and that, and then you or I, we bite into the Gulabjaman, so we're absorbed, right? So the Gulabjaman, I mean, it has sensory qualities of sight. Oh, it's light brown, and like that. But we're absorbed in the taste. Okay, we're absorbed in the taste and the juice and the sweetness. Okay, now let's say if while we're absorbed in the taste, someone were to say, and that Gulabjaman, it has a light brown color. Okay, yeah, and yeah, I mean, that's true, but I'm absorbed in the sweetness and the syrup. Now, I'm aware that it has a light brown color. So similarly, as far as like the absolute, so like the absolute has the feature, just like the Gulabjaman has the feature of the light brown color. Okay. But someone who's absorbed in the sweetness, it doesn't, well, okay, it's not so important to me. So similarly, someone absorbed in bhakti, so they're appreciating, it's there for them that a feature of the absolute is the undifferentiated oneness of all energies, but it's just sort of like, I don't really care about that so much. I'm into serving Krishna with the flute on banks of the Cowherd Boys, and all of that personality and the color. That's my absorption. Yeah, and Krishna also has the feature of the impersonal oneness. Well, okay, so I understand that, but that's not so attractive to me.
Thank you for this example. It helps. Recently, we had a discussion in the Srimad Bhagavatam reading group about liberation and about why Srila Prabhupada again and again speaks about the Mayavadi philosophy.
Yeah.
And yeah, I expressed it seems to be important for us. That's why he mentions it again and again. And for me, liberation is very attractive.
Yeah.
And it's hard for me to understand the difference between liberation and serving Krishna with love and devotion. So it's like there's these personalities like Srila Prabhupada, they speak about something which is beyond my realm of experience.
Yeah,
So the example you gave with the Gulabjaman, it's very helpful.
I'm glad. Glad to hear that. Yeah, so Prabhupada is really compassionately trying to help us to make the distinctions. There's like the impersonal, a form of impersonalism is Mayavad. And in one sense, it is so much superior to just a gross materialist. But then it's such an important distinction between the impersonal liberation and bhakti, which includes impersonal liberation. And if we don't get that distinction, then the Mayavad type of approach to liberation, it can be like we read here, it can be like a devouring monster mouth, and it can be even more dangerous than just an ordinary material consciousness. More dangerous because then we're negating even the possibility that the absolute can be sentient, can be a person.
Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Nityagopal.
Yeah, just in addition to what you mentioned, Prabhu, to Anandi Mataji, Prabhu, about how Prabhupada says that liberation is a spiritual suicide for devotees.
Yeah,
So
thanks for that. Yeah,
in that sense, really just wanted to share this.
thanks for sharing that. Yeah, it's a heavy term, spiritual suicide. So like, we want to understand it philosophically, and there's these. Yeah, Lord Chaitanya, he says like, yeah, this is he's warning us again and again, to stay away from the Mayavadis, unless we're so powerful like him that we can transform the Mayavadi's heart to be soft-hearted bhaktas. So there's a lot of caution there. Spiritual suicide, heavy term, means, yeah, because I'm so frustrated with material life and material relationships. I just want to commit spiritual suicide and give up my personality and merge into the oneness. A place where Prabhupada goes into that in some detail is his purport to Bhagavad Gita, chapter 4, text 10, the verse Vitaraga Bhaya Krodha. Thank you, Nityagopal. Shri Sad-gosvamy-astaka ki jai. Srila Srinivasacharya ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. 6 Goswamis of Vrindavan ki jai. Hare Krishna.